Welcome to Brands Hatch and welcome to American Speedfest 12, always one of the highlights of the EuroNASCAR calendar, with fans in abundance, lots to do all around the circuit, but all eyes of course on the racing action here at this bull ring that is the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit across both the Pro and the Open division. It always provides fabulous racing. You don't vote for kings, they take power with a little more force. Welcome to Brands Hatch, where fear, surprise, and ruthless efficiency will determine our winner. The legend of Brands Hatch tells that every year, the mightiest knights gather on the Druid's Hill and battle for the throne. But only one may wear the crown and lay claim to these lands.
I will be the king of Brands.
I'm the reigning king of Brands Hatch, and I will defend the throne.
You don't have to look for the king, he's right in front of you.
Rubbing is racing. 'Tis but a scratch and a small price to pay for a shot at the Holy Grail and celebrate upon the NASCAR Euro Series throne. Who will be our new king? Our first race of the weekend then, and it's the Pro Division with the 2023 champion Gianmarco Ercoli in the hot seat at the front of the field. As always, the grid walk here at the Brands Hatch circuit is huge. We expect 50,000 people across the weekend here at Brands Hatch. The fans always delighted to get up close and personal with these racing machines just before they launch into life. It's Ercoli and Gorelli on the front row, Hazemans and the local hero Jack Davidson of Scotland on row 2. We're racing at Brands Hatch, and it looks like it's going to be a good start there from Gianmarco Ercoli. Oh, a little bit drifty, yes, but he has managed to hold the lead through the all-important Paddock Hill bend here at Brands Hatch, and Jack Davidson is on the offensive. He's around the outside of our championship defending driver Vittorio Gorelli, last year's champion, gets overtaken by Jack Davidson, who really seems to have the bit between his teeth this weekend. Vittorio Gorelli in third place, running a car that's been hastily repaired by PK Carsport. His Open colleague, the Open division driver Thomas Dombrowski, had a huge crash on Friday here at Brands Hatch in testing. And miraculously, with an all-nighter pulled, I think, by quite a few of the team members, they've got that car back together. Gorelli qualified it this morning, got it onto the front row, so seemingly PK Carsport have not only got a car that runs, but runs well. But for now, it's Illumatech Racing's Gianmarco Ercoli that leads the race. Jack Davidson for Lux Motorsport in second, Gorelli in third place for PK Carsport, and then in fourth, it is the Club Motorsport entry. Fabrizio Armetta running very well indeed. He's always sniffing around the precipice of a really good performance, and maybe this is the weekend. Has let forth from row 4 of the grid to P4 on the road in just a couple of laps. Ercoli is streaking away at the front of the field. Davidson and Gorelli are close together, but here's Thomas Chrysonis and indeed Liam Hazemans, who are both getting ever closer to the rear of Armetta as well. What Davidson doesn't want to do is lose a single place. I get the feeling that if Gorelli gets to his inside, others may sneak by as well. He's in that unenviable position at this stage of leading a train of cars, and Paul Giffreau is slow. Giffreau with an issue there, seemingly. They had engine problems on Friday. And our championship leader coming into this weekend is now most unlikely to still be in that position by the end of this race. The number 3 car heading for the pit lane. Davidson and Gorelli still very close together. Armetta certainly having to drive through the mirrors because of Thomas Chrysonis. And Gorelli looks like he's got a run here. He has the inside line into Druid's Bend. Has he made that stick? No. Jack Davidson doing a very good job finding traction on the high line there at Druid's Bend. That queue of cars is getting ever longer. Bruno Mulders and Sebastian Bleekemolen in the team Bleekemolen entries are starting to join the scrap as well. Gianmarco Ercoli is streaking off up ahead. Davidson without the best of runs there through Clark Curve. That could be Garelli's opportunity. They're side by side as they cross the start-finish line. And it is going to be Garelli with that inside line. Having to be a little bit careful there with the oil that's been laid down in a previous race under braking. You don't want to be applying too much brake pressure on that resin, that cement dust. But Garelli has moved through. Armetta in 4th position has been making liberal use of the track limits, we're told. I think there may be a penalty hanging overhead if it hasn't already been applied. He's going to have to keep an eye on that. Chrysonis and Hazemans are right behind him on the road. Right on board with Hazemans now. You can see again just how close they're all running here behind Jack Davidson. Looks like Garelli is starting to build a gap. Davidson trying to hold on to this podium position. Hazemans wants the top 5. He is our reigning king of Brands Hatch, Liam Hazemans. He was the most successful driver here at last year's American Speedfest, and each year that driver gets the crown. Here's Thomas Chrysonis to the inside of Fabrizio Armetta, but Armetta making that 55 car exceedingly wide. That won't pass scrutineering. It's about a metre wider than it should be. And Liam Hazemans has leapfrogged Chrysonis because of all of that racing between them. Can Hazemans now find a way past Armetta? Decent run there from Hazemans, but he's defending more so than attacking with Chrysonis, Bleekemolen and Mulders all there with him. However, there has been a penalty applied to that 55 car. Armetta has a 10-second penalty attached to his race time at this juncture. And so all of that fighting for 4th place is almost for nothing at this stage. At the front of the field, Garelli is trying to hunt down the 11 of Gianmarco Ercoli, but no success as of yet. We ride on board with Claudio Remeggio Capelli. Oh, that's deep into Paddock Hill Bend. He's in the gravel. Oh, and he's in the barrier for good measure. Oh, Claudio Remeggio Capelli just running out of brakes there, or just braking a little bit late, I think potentially on that cement dust. We're back to green flag from a full course yellow and then a virtual safety car, and there seems to have been some confusion there. Some were launched and others were not. Ercoli and Garelli have disappeared up the road, and I believe it's Thomas Chrysonis in 3rd place. Yes, it is. Then Mulders has moved up to P4. But I do wonder if he jumped the start. Either way, Ercoli and Garelli, after a full course yellow and a virtual safety car, are together on the road, and this presents a huge opportunity for Vittorio Garelli. Has he got the pace? The Illumitech racing car has looked so strong here this weekend. 3 times in the past, Ercoli has won a race here as well. He knows this track like the back of his hand. Chrysonis with the inside line beckoning for Hazemans. And Chrysonis' car is clearly ailing. Hazemans gets through. Hugely jumbled up order after that strange restart. But Gianmarco Ercoli for Illumitech Racing. The first time that this Illumitech-Ercoli partnership crosses the line to win a race in the Pro Division. It's Ercoli's 4th win here at Brands Hatch. It's a circuit he always does well at, and he will go to victory lane. Garelli, Davidson, Armetta and Hazemans, the top 5 ultimately. There was a penalty for Mulders that dropped him off the podium, unfortunately. But huge celebrations for the 11 crew. Could Ercoli be the king of Brands Hatch?
At the beginning, it looked like an easy win. You pulled away, nobody following you, but then we had the late virtual safety car, everybody bunching up again. How stressful was the last lap?
No, here is always in this mode. So when I arrive to the 32 laps, I think so. This group is really good today. One corner and immediately another accident, and it's really good. I'm happy for the car, for the job. It's the first win of the EuroNASCAR Racing and car racing, and congrats to the team for the job. I'm too happy. It's an incredible race. In this track, you can't have one moment of relax.
What about your championship hopes? A win is very important to get closer to the leading guys. Do you think there's still a shot to win the championship this year, to get your second title?
Yeah, I think in this moment we can change the way of the championship. I'm sure before this race, because in Valencia and in Vallelunga we battle with a little mistake, can't show our potential. But today we can change the line, we can change the rules, and come on.
All right, thank you so much. Congratulations, Gianmarco Ercoli, your winner in EuroNASCAR Pro.
A lot of optimism there from Ercoli, a spring in his step as he jumps onto the podium for his first win of the season. That will be the momentum that he so sorely needed to take the fight to Garelli and the other contenders in this year's season. And what about Jack Davidson? Home podium for him in the Pro Division after winning the Open Division race here last year quite famously. Wins the Junior Trophy as well, Challenger Trophy to David Kajaya. The EuroNASCAR Open Division up next. The fans with all eyes on their heroes. And it'll be Thomas Toffel that leads them away.
Of course, the Strom Watches Pole Award for Thomas Toffel. What an amazing lap. How was it for you out there?
Yeah, I was not so confident during the pro quali because it was a little bit too wet. I don't have the pace during this quali. And I was thinking before the open quali that I have to do like if it's full without wet and without something. So I was 100% confident about what I did.
A confident Thomas Toffel on pole position for M Racing, looking to get a good result in the books. The fans treated to ever-worsening conditions, though, during their grid walk, and in fact, by the time we were rolling on the formation lap, it was raining. The weather getting worse, most of the cars on slick tyres, and that meant that the starting grid would effectively be scrapped. After the scheduled 2 formation laps, a lot of drivers came in with a tyre change. There were more formation laps than originally scheduled. We ended up with 4, and the order was massively changed. A few drivers at the back of the field had taken the risk, taken the gamble of pitting, or indeed going on to wets before the race even started, because the forecast foretold this. And yet here we are with even more rain than anyone expected, and Dominic Schack has ended up on the de facto pole position. The race will begin in single file here in near biblical conditions. These wet Hoosier tyres are going to be really tested. Dominic Schack then de facto pole position. The number 1, Andres Beers in second place. Florian Richard in third. We're underway, and I suspect quite treacherously we are racing. More than a little trepidation required, but look at Andres Beers really fighting to get the power down there. And we'll have to fight to get it stopped at Druids Bend as well. Everyone just picking their spots. Beers running very, very wide indeed at Graham Hill. I think aquaplaning off the apex there, quite frankly. It's hugely treacherous conditions. Look at the field bunching up there, all in the spray. No one able to see a thing. Oh, and Beers with a spin. Andres Beers spins out of the lead. Dominic Schack re-inherits the position. The 64 of Sven van Laar in a spin as well. This is the battle for the lead. Dominic Schack, Florian Richard, and here comes our pole sitter. Thomas Tuchel has found the traction and moves into the race lead. We've got an issue there for Mikael Bleekemolen in the Retty Jones Racing 30. We saw that car there with the hood up. Tuchel just barely keeping in a straight line. These conditions are crazy, and unsurprisingly a red flag, not only because of the conditions, but also there's been a total loss of electricity around the circuit, so broadcast timing, just about anything that requires electricity has fallen by the wayside. Red flags, the only way forward. We had completed a couple of racing laps, and so we returned to the order as it was at the end of lap number 1. The weather has slightly calmed down now, only slightly. And Dominic Schack has a second crack of leading this race. Richard immediately losing out to Thomas Tuchel. Tuchel fully committed in the wet conditions and also doing very well. Look at that pink machine. The Lux Motorsport number 21. Matthew Ellis at the wheel moves up to second position. Richard up to third. Fourth place there for Schack, and then Andres Beers. In fact, Andres Beers getting through into fourth position there. Melvin Groot is on the move, as well as Thomas Dombrowski in 5th and 6th position. But this order is going to fluctuate a lot. Lots of drivers out of position. Lots of drivers trying to figure out the rain. And look at Matthew Ellis. Ellis is up to the race lead. Matthew Ellis, who we've seen previously in the NASCAR Euro Series here at Brands Hatch, has made the odd cameo appearance. But here at a circuit he knows very well indeed, the Brands Hatch Indy layout. It seems as though Ellis is using that local knowledge very well indeed. Dombrowski with a run there against Melvin de Groot as he closes in on Florian Richard. But Ellis is absolutely mastering this weather. Tuchel in third place, in second place I should say. The battle for third place is the one on your screen. Martin Dubeck at the back of this queue here, trying to move through. Oh, and Andres Beers backwards into Druid. Somehow he's avoided by everybody. We've got interesting situations here. A few drivers are registered a lap down because they were still getting their tyres changed as the race began. That includes Jordan O'Brien in the 22 Club Motorsport car, who's setting a wonderful pace. Oh, and he hits the number 72. Bruno Mulder's sent into a spin there by Jordan O'Brien, who's a lap down. And now Sandro Tabakaladze has an opportunity to try and get past the young Dutchman Mulders. You see there Thomas Chrysonis coming out of the pit lane. Gambarotto coming out of the pit lane, and another collision for Mulders. Now fighting for 8th place with Tabakaladze. The field is hugely jumbled up here as people have moved on to wets late, and I think a few have just struggled to get the cars ready after that period in the intense rain at the start of the race. The Chrysonis rejoins in reputed to be 10th position. Everything's so jumbled up. Dombrowski and Melvin de Groot are fighting it out for third position. Now Melvin, quite an experienced driver, and he seems quite confident in these conditions. I'd say he's trying to go around the outside at Paddock Hill Bend. Jordan O'Brien's involved in this as well, but he's trying to unlap himself from the battle for third place, and he squeezes Dombrowski along with de Groot. And Melvin may well have third place here, gets the traction out of Druid, but ends up on the slippery curb there on corner exit. By the time we get to Graham Hill Bend, however, the 69 is through into third place. Jordan O'Brien's pace is absolutely magnificent right now. He's got the fastest lap of the race as it stands, and the fastest laps of this race will determine the grid for Sunday's Open Division race. So Jordan O'Brien, the American racer, a very successful Legends competitor in the US in the 5/8 scale hot rods. On his EuroNASCAR debut weekend, he's potentially going to be on pole tomorrow. That would be a huge story. Dombrowski and Dubeck are fighting it out for fourth position, and Martin Dubeck, getting to grips here with these adverse conditions, moves his way up to fourth place. Dombrowski, of course, who had that huge crash on Friday in that PK Car Sport 24, seemingly tweaked his knee a little bit, but is otherwise okay and doing a great job of just staying on the track. We saw Dubeck there with a huge snap of oversteer. And while all of this is going on, again, effective series newcomer Matthew Ellis, who's only raced with us a couple of times before, is our leader, but not anymore. Matthew Ellis is off the circuit for Lux Motorsport. He was leading the way from Teufel, but he runs it wide there at Paddock Hill. That's a huge shame for Matthew Ellis. Can he now fight back? He's had good pace. Melvin Groot is up to second. Thomas Teufel is now the leader. Teufel goes straight on. Ellis spins it around again. Oh, Matthew Ellis just trying a bit too hard there, and now he's on the slippery grass. He's going to struggle to get that pointed back the right way. Meanwhile, Melvin Groot senses an opportunity here. He's yet to win in EuroNASCAR Open. Teufel with a huge snap of oversteer there, coming onto the Brabham Straight. They're side by side for the lead. They go either side of Happin Nessa to try and get to the first corner first. Both of them around the outside of Dominic Schack. Melvin Groot with the inside line at Paddock Hill Bend. And Melvin de Groot is your race leader. Team Blake Molen's own. The number 69 to the front. Can Teufel retaliate? The clock is ticking down. The number of laps has been reduced to 25 owing to that red flag portion of the race. And we're running out of time for Thomas Teufel, and Melvin de Groot is looking quite comfortable to just walk off. See you later, mate. I'm loving these wet conditions. Would be his first ever win, and if he crosses the line first here, not only will he win the race, but he'll also take the lead of the overall championship. Uncharted highs potentially here for Melvin de Groot. He just has to get it to the line in these incredibly treacherous conditions here at Brands Hatch. I'm amazed by the performances of some of these drivers. And Melvin de Groot has come to the fore here. I don't think he would have predicted himself as a race winner coming into it. But here he is now, taking the checkered flag, winning the day. Teufel taking second, Mulders taking third position. Thomas Dombrowski and Sandro Tavat-Kalatsa rounding out our top five as Dubeck fell back a little bit towards the end of the race. But there's the 69 car. Melvin Groot for the first time, a winner.
Melvin, how's it going?
Yeah, fantastic. It was an amazing race. I couldn't see anything. It was no view, nothing. And yeah, we made it. We did it. I had to go back from, I don't know, 5th, 7th place after starting 4th. And I couldn't see anything. So over the board where they say on the left part, stay left, stay right. And I just focused. And I knew I was a bit quicker. So I thought at a certain moment I need to attack now. 3, 2, 1, go for it. Now, phenomenal. I'm really, really happy with this.
You're open winner.
Of course, double delight for Team Blake Molen because it's a double podium. Here is Bruno Mulders once again on the podium.
How was your race? How crazy was it from your point of view?
Yeah, crazy. So much happened, but I mean, as Dutch guys, we like the rain, obviously. So yeah, lovely conditions.
How hard is it to keep a EuroNASCAR car on track with the rain tires in such heavy conditions?
Well, it's quite difficult because we didn't have any track time in the wet here before. It was all dry, and then suddenly the race is on wet, so it's just feeling and trying to get on that edge, and it's just constantly drifting.
Right on the edge, I think, describes many drivers' races there in the EuroNASCAR Open race in some of the wettest weather the series has ever run in. Melvin Groot is our race winner. Master Trophy classification going to Mulders, who also secured third. Overall, Melvin Groot wins the Legend Trophy classification as well. A banner weekend for him. Happy Nessa winning in the Lady Trophy class. They survived the rain at Brands Hatch. Sunday promises even more thrills on and off the circuit at American Speedfest 12.